Today on our show,
we are reviewing two of our favorite books, absolute favorite comic books. You're going to love them. Stick around. We're doing that. We got a very special Star Wars announcement for The Last Jedi. So stick around right here. This is Chuck Load of Comics. Hello and welcome to Chuck Load of Comics. My name is Chuck Lindsay.
I'm Shauna Lindsay.
We've got some really cool stuff to talk about today. We've got two amazing books we're going to review. Lady Killer and I Hate Fairyland are two of our absolute favorite books. They're top of our pull list, and we're going to get into them, tell you all about them. Hopefully you'll pick them up and start reading them. Is anybody reading the books? Just out of curiosity. And one of the reasons we're doing this is so people will take our advice, maybe read some books. Send us an email. Our email is chuckloadofcomics@gmail.com. Just curious, popped into my head. If you're actually taking our advice, reading any of these books, we'd love to hear about that. So you send us an email, leave us a comment at the bottom of the video.
Yep.
You know, it'd be nice to hear that someone's actually reading these books, or watching these videos for that matter. So, but before we get into that, last week we said we were going to Cocoa Beach, Florida. Yeah. And we did. We just got back from Cocoa. We promised you guys a comic book review from the beach. We did not do it because it's windy as shit.
Really windy.
We tried, man. We set up the books, and the wind was just blowing them all over.
So
we had a killer spot right next to the shuffleboard court.
Unsuccessful.
So we did our best, but we did do a really hilarious video. It was a superhero trivia challenge that we did at a bar. It's on our videos on YouTube. You should check it out. It stars our good friend CJ Riley and Andy Lindsay. Our other friend John Cole was behind the scenes keeping score terribly. So if you haven't watched that video, check it out. It's called Superhero Beach Showdown or something like that. So check that out. It's really funny. It's got some hilarious stuff in there. But anyway, moving on. Before we do our comic book reviews, I think it's time for a little nerd news. What do you think?
Nerd news!
Nerd news. Here we go. Fans have been anxiously awaiting their first look at Star Wars The Last Jedi, and it appears that Friday, April 14th may be the day. Star Wars Celebration takes place April 13th through the 16th in Orlando, Florida, and Lucasfilm has confirmed that director Rian Johnson will be joining CEO Kathleen Kennedy on stage for a discussion about the upcoming film. Although Lucasfilm did not say they will be screening the trailer for The Last Jedi, it does line up with Kennedy's prior comments about when fans could expect their first look at the film. Tickets are still available for Star Wars Celebration in Orlando at starwarscelebration.com.
Emily Blunt is looking supercalifragilisticexpialidocious in her first photo from Mary Poppins Returns. Blunt can be seen standing in front of the Banks home wearing her signature blue coat, red hat, and carrying her famous magical handbag. The sequel, directed by Rob Marshall, will take place in Depression-era London and focus on the now grown-up Jane and Michael Banks. The film also stars Meryl Streep, Colin Firth, and Hamilton creator Lin-Manuel Miranda. Mary Poppins Returns is scheduled to hit theaters around Christmas 2018.
Well, there you go. I thought you were going to mess up the name, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Did I? Did I
No,
not?
you nailed it.
Okay, good.
But I can't even say that name without screwing it up. Lin-Manuel Maracha. So Star Wars.
Yeah.
Potential first look at the new film.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Star Wars Celebration is coming to Orlando. So all of our Florida viewers, man, that is a huge deal.
Worldwide celebration.
It's a worldwide thing. Every year it's in a different place. It's been... they were in Japan a few years back. After that, they were in Germany. They were in Anaheim, California, when they did that's when they did the big thing for The Force Awakens.
Of course, it's Disney, so now they're going to be at Anaheim and now Orlando.
Well, no, last year they were in London.
Oh,
London was the
right.
Rogue One big announcement. That's when they
Okay.
showed all the big Rogue One footage, and this year it's going to be in Orlando. So all you Florida people, you people in Cocoa Beach, this is a really once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. People in Tallahassee, man, you can get down there in no time. Tickets are still available. I think they're $75 for a 3-day pass? Maybe it's just for a 1-day pass, I don't know. But yeah, check it out, man. If you're into Star Wars, it's never going to be this close to you probably ever again. So get your ass down to Orlando, get a ticket, because they did say they're going to show. Kathleen Kennedy earlier in the year said right around April is when people might start seeing the first footage. They're going to have Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy, who's the head of Lucasfilms, on stage at the same time. What better time to show the first footage? Last time it was a featurette. They did this behind the scenes featurette, which was awesome for Force Awakens. They showed the Millennium Falcon and the BB-8 and all that stuff. So maybe it'll be a trailer, maybe it'll just be footage, but either way, you want to be in that hall when they show it, because man, what an awesome thing.
He's jealous.
I'm a little jealous.
To go, so.
We were thinking about it. It's the same week. It's the weekend before C2E2.
Yeah.
So we'll be in Chicago getting ready for Chicago Comic-Con, so we can't go to Orlando. More about that later. So anyway, yeah, StarWarsCelebration.com. Mary Poppins?
Mary Poppins! Oh, it was my favorite movie. I remember watching it over and over again. So.
That's a really cool picture they showed.
Yeah, I'm excited
That's really neat.
about this.
The only thing about Mary Poppins I gotta say is, what's with the name Mary Poppins Returns? It sounds like a horror movie. It sounds like some.
And she's actually going to be younger than Julie Andrews, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
We'll
Meryl
see.
Streep, Colin Firth, and Lin-Manuel Miranda. But yeah, I don't know about Mary Poppins Returns. They could have maybe thought a little bit more about the name of that movie.
Yeah.
I think.
I would have personally I would have liked to have seen an older Julie Andrews playing
Is she
it
still
if
alive?
it's a return. Yeah, I think so.
Google
Sure
that.
she is.
Julie Andrews,
Actually.
if you're watching this, leave us a comment.
Yep.
I'm still alive. Julie Andrews. Yeah, so that's your nerd news. Pretty cool stuff. Let's get into some comic book reviews. What do you say?
Sounds like a plan.
You want to go first?
Sure.
You want me to go first?
So, originally, when we were in Cocoa Beach, we were going to do this review, but I decided to stick with it, even though we're not there anymore. I'm going to talk about Lady Killer, which is an independent series by Joelle Jones. She writes and illustrates the book. This is actually its second arc, which came out, I don't know, maybe a few months ago, but we're on issue 4 now, the second arc.
It took a little break.
Yeah, the first arc came out 2015-ish, maybe late 2016 or early 2016. But it's only 5 issues. It's available in trade. You can pick it up at your local comic book shop. Like I said, this second arc is on issue 4, but the whole premise of the story is our main character, Josie Schuler.
Pre-show prep.
Sorry.
Right there.
She is your typical 1960s stay-at-home mom with the husband and 2 twin daughters, and she cooks her dinner for her husband at night, but unbeknownst to her family, she is a for-hire contract killer on the side. So it's gotten reviews that have said and called it Mad Men meets Dexter, which is a very good description.
Really accurate
of
description of that
this book. It's very bloody, it's very gory, but it's just done very well, and it's just really, really cool book. The second arc takes place in my hometown of Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Takes place in Cocoa Beach.
Amazing! I gotta hit up Joelle Jones and see why Cocoa Beach. I wonder if she's like from there or near there. But anyway, she's gonna be at C2E2 this year, so I'm gonna hit her up. Maybe we'll do an interview.
Thank you, Joelle Jones, for coming to C2E2. That's awesome.
Yes, and we actually have one of her original drawings that my wonderful husband got me for Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's hanging up in our hallway.
I'll
Thank
show
you
a picture
again,
of
Joelle
it.
Jones.
Here's a picture of it right here.
Ta-da! So anyway, if you like 1960s family matters type things along with a little blood and guts, this is your book.
Yeah, I love that book because, like she said, it's Mad Men meets Dexter. She goes, like, I think in the very, very first issue, she's going door to door selling like Mary Kay products.
Or Avon.
Avon 1950s, her little hat and stuff, and sure as shit, she walks in the door, starts selling her products, and then butchers the customer with a butcher knife. It's such an awesome book, and it's so well drawn. I mean, the characters look awesome. The coloring is fantastic. The inking is fantastic. The story's great. The art's great. Everything about it's good. So, Lady Killer.
Lady Killer.
Pick it up. The first
trade
arc
is
available in trade paperback. If you're not familiar with what trade paperbacks are, they basically take once they finish with the entire story arc, it's usually 5 or 6 issues, they bind it all together in one big book. So
it's like 10 or 15 bucks or something.
Yeah.
And you get the whole story. And
if you don't want to buy them week to week, you can just wait till they all get done and then go buy the trade. So go to your local comic shop, say, I want the trade paperback for Lady Killer, #1. It's such a good book. It's
so
incredible. And yeah, it's adult, it's bloody and gutsy, and but it's
well worth
smart
your
and
time.
Sexy at the same time, and you're gonna love it. Sorry.
What's your pick, Chuck?
My
what are you gonna talk
pick
about here?
is such a good book. The book's called I Hate Fairyland. It's by Scotty Young. If you're familiar with Scotty Young, he is a world-renowned comic book artist. He's a cartoonist at heart. He's actually a Midwesterner. He lives like in our general area. He works for Image Comics, and he has made a name for himself doing variant covers to other comic books. Like if you hear the term Scotty Young cover, he does these cutesy versions of comic book characters.
Mostly Marvel. You get your mini Marvels.
Almost exclusively Marvel. And he just does these little kid versions of characters, and his variant covers sell for a lot of money. They're hard to come by. They're awesome. They're awesome. So, a couple years ago, Scotty Young finally did his very own owner, written and illustrated all by him. He does the entire book, and it's called I Hate Fairyland.
You may notice the alternate titles on
All right,
our books.
And these two books, he also releases an adult variant cover of his own book called Fuck Fairyland.
Which is what he originally called the story, but then they said it probably wouldn't sell.
Yeah, we actually saw him at a comic book convention, and he was before this came out, and he was pushing this book, which hasn't come out yet, and he said he wants to call it Fuck Fairyland, but he thinks the studio is going to make him call it I Hate Fairyland. Sure as shit, they did. So it's called I Hate Fairyland, but you can get Fuck Fairyland variants, which are more mature variant covers, which we have done exclusively, because it's just rolls off the tongue. Fuck Fairyland. So what is it about? It is about this little girl named Gertrude. She's a little 10-year-old girl. You see her in issue #1. She's playing around in her bedroom, wishing, she makes this wish to live in a magical land full of joy and laughter and magic, and it's great. And just then she gets sucked into this portal. It's taking her to this magical fairyland, and it's a brutal scene of her getting sucked through this portal. It's just like, no, it's horrible. And then she finally gets sucked into fairyland. Her wish is granted. So
and it's happy and magical.
It's happy and magical, and it's wonderful, but it scares the shit out of her, so she wants to go back. She almost immediately wants to go back home. So she sits down with the Queen of Fairyland. Her name's Queen Claudia. Her hair's made of clouds. The art in here is hilarious. Everything's a joke. Every panel is a joke, visually and then scripted. But she wants to go back home, so Queen Claudia says, okay, there is a door, a magical door that'll take you back home. All you gotta do is go find the key. And so she gives him these very detailed instructions on how to go find the key. A couple different quests she has to do, simple quests, to go find the key to go back home. That's what it's about. It's a little girl trying to get back home from Fairyland. Turn the page, cut to 27 years later. This little girl is still on this quest through Fairyland to try to find this key. She's aged in her mind, but she's still just a little girl, so she's essentially now like a 35-year-old person stuck in Fairyland on a quest to find this key to get back home. And she hates it. She hates Fairyland. She hates everything about Fairyland. She's now just become this tortured 35-year-old in the body of a little tiny girl who's going on a quest with her little helper. I forget what his name is, but he's a little flying worm dude. And so yeah, so she's now fully evil. She's got such a hatred of Fairyland, so she kills everything she comes in contact with. She slaughters things. She blows the moon's brains out all over Fairyland. Slaughters everything she comes in contact with. Can't follow the simple instructions on how to get this key to save her life. So that's essentially what the book is about. It's about this little girl who's been on a quest to get home for 27 years, and she just can't do it. And she's just slaughtering things along the way. She's so fed up with this place. It's the funniest book you can buy. It's visual. Every single panel is a joke, visually and written, like I said. And the art is incredible. The coloring is incredible. The inking is incredible. Scotty Young, it's If you like his little Marvel covers, it's this
Yeah.
through and through. The whole book is.
All characters from his imagination.
Yeah, and the imagination is deep. It's so great and funny. I'm showing you pictures, and I'm sure you're probably already in love with it just from what you've seen. They're up to issue 11. Issue 11 just came out, and
It's a new arc.
it's a brand new arc. This starts arc number 3, so you can still get the first arc and the second arc in trade paperback. So again, go to your local comic shop, say I want trade paperback volume 1 and 2 of I Hate Fairyland. You could say fuck Fairyland, they may not know what you're talking about, so say I Hate Fairyland. It's worth every single penny and then some. It's next to Lady Killer is probably the best thing on the racks right now.
Agreed.
So, really quickly, issue number 11. Sean has not read it yet, so I'm not going to spoil it for her, but
But he will.
it might be my very favorite issue so far. Gertrude, Gert as they call her, takes a break from her quest to go to a comic book convention in Fairyland. What a hilarious concept. So she goes to a Comic-Con, and Scotty Young, who is every time you go to a convention, he goes to a lot of them, so he knows every joke about a comic book convention, and he puts them all into this book. From standing in long-ass lines to meet your favorite artists who could give less of a shit about you, and just these ridiculously long lines of fans, food courts that have horrible, shitty food, vendors that sell overpriced weaponry, cosplayers. She runs into a cosplayer who's cosplaying as her, which is funny. If you ever go to a comic book convention, there's always one or two Gertrudes walking around. Well, she runs into one of her own. And all right, I'm gonna stop because I don't want to spoil it for Shauna.
Sounds great.
But issue 11 is outstanding, and issue 1 through 10 will blow your mind.
Yeah.
So I Hate Fairyland. It's probably top notch, one of my favorite books out there. So if you ever take our advice ever from a single show, Lady Killer and I Hate Fairyland,
Please.
Pick 'em up. Pick 'em up.
Please trust us.
So, moving on. Those are our comic books picks for the week. Before we close, we're going to do a quick visit to the old viewer mailbag.
Mailbag.
So, we got a new graphic for Mailbag. You
We
see
do?
it? You
Yes,
see
I
it?
do.
Here it is. New graphic for Mailbag. Boom. Yeah?
Huh?
You like it?
I haven't seen it, so.
Mailbag. Well, trust me, it's good. Anyway, moving on. That's our graphic for Mailbag.
All right.
What's our first viewer mail question?
Well, our first viewer mail question comes from Andy in Chicago, Illinois.
Andy in Chicago.
He asks, if the zombie apocalypse were to happen tomorrow, what one mutant power would you choose to have in order to survive, and why?
Awesome question. My mutant power, if the zombie apocalypse were to hit tomorrow, would be... I don't know. What would yours be?
I would want the adamantium claws, Wolverine adamantium
Duh.
claws, because then you're just you gotta kill him through the head, right?
Genius.
You gotta stab him through the brain, so you're just instantly prepared. You don't always have to carry a weapon around. You're just.
What a great answer.
So that's what I want.
That's better than my answer. My answer would probably be I'd have the powers of Colossus from the X-Men. What Colossus can do, he turns his entire body into pure metal. So you don't even have to fight him, because what's a zombie gonna do? They're just gonna try to bite you and eat you, right? Well, you can't eat a metal person.
That's a good point.
Actually, I just thought I'm gonna kick that up a notch, take it to the next level. Screw Colossus. I'm gonna get the powers of Emma Frost.
Emma Frost. I was just thinking
Who can
that
turn
when
her
you were
entire
talking
body
about
into
diamond.
diamonds.
Yep.
And she has super psychic abilities. She can control your mind. So while you're pure diamond and no one can eat you, those who aren't zombies, you can control their mind and steal their food and take their weapons.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
All right, Emma Frost.
Frost.
Great question, Andy.
Yeah, good question, Andy.
What else you got?
All right, we have another question from our friend Leo in Chicago, Illinois.
Leo!
He says, why the hell does it take so long for new issues of Sex Criminals to be released?
Okay. Well, first of all,
Question.
for those of you who don't know, Sex Criminals is the name of a comic book.
Written
Leo-
by Matt Fraction and
Yeah, in case you're wondering why
illustrated by-
Leo in Chicago is trying to release all the sex criminals, he's not. He doesn't want to have sex criminals released. He's wondering about the release of the comic book Sex Criminals. Just want to get that out. So,
Get that out of the way.
what were you going to say?
It's just illustrated by Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
Who is also
Well,
great.
your frustration is very common with anybody that reads independent books. If you read Image books, kind of the beauty of an Image book, and a lot of these independent comic book people is the creators of the books, it's owned and operated by them. I don't know exactly how the business works with Image, but I think it's something like, you put up the money and then you can recruit, or you can get your money back, accrue, anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works, but...
So a lot of what these people do, there's a number of different things. A lot of them will bank issues to where they will sit down and write several issues, write and illustrate, create several issues and then release them all at once. And so there will be large 6-month gaps where you get no issue, and then you get 3 like immediately, and then you get another 6-month gap and there's nothing. So sometimes you see people banking issues.
I think that also what's been happening is these books are becoming so popular that these authors and illustrators are being scooped up by Marvel and DC, and then they have to
they'll go off and do
something
else.
Books.
And especially like with big books like Sex Criminals and with Saga. Saga especially. Saga will have an issue and then 5 months with nothing, and then an issue and then a year with nothing.
5 issues.
And then you read in the back of the book, they're like, oh, we were in Paris this year and we were at this, we were doing that, we were on vacation. So I mean, it's kind of, from their standpoint, it's good because they can keep their own schedule. If they want to take 6 months off, they can. They're only losing their own money and viewership. Whereas like if you work for Marvel, they've got strict deadlines. You have to stick to the deadlines. That's the appeal for independent books if you are a creator. Especially with Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction, they were very busy. They were working on a lot of books last year. Chip Zdarsky was working on Howard the Duck. He was working on his own book, Kaptara. He was working on obviously Sex Criminals and a couple other things.
Yeah.
So they just get busy, and they take breaks. It sucks if you're a reader, but if you're a creator, it's kind of nice to have that freedom. So quit being such an asshole, Leo.
Yeah. Sometimes
Jesus.
They don't even come back to the book, so you're lucky to get more issues. Just be happy.
Be glad you didn't start reading The Dying and the Dead by Jonathan Hickman. Those were 3 kick-ass issues.
Best book.
And then it just went away.
And he just said, sorry, I don't know.
So quit your bitching, Leo. Enjoy your damn book. And that's the other thing. They keep the cost low at Image books. You'll notice Image books usually go for about $2.99, and they're some of the best books out there. But they keep them cheap because of things like this, So next time you feel like bitching, just think about, put yourself in their shoes. All right, Leo, thanks for the question.
One more. We got one more in the mailbag from
Alrighty.
Patrick in Midlothian, Virginia. You need to do an entire show of things that suck. Not everything can be awesome. More of a comment than a question.
I disagree. I think everything can be awesome, Pat.
Everything is awesome.
That's right. If we learned anything from the Lego movie, we know that everything is awesome and can be awesome.
Never saw the Lego movie, but...
Oh, it's fucking great. Spawned the Lego Batman movie.
Which I want to see really bad.
So, I get what you're saying. It is fun to, bitch about things, but you know what? The internet is full of people shitting on other people's stuff.
Right.
And when we decided we were going to start doing this show, the name of the show is our pick of the week.
Yeah.
So we're only going to highlight the stuff that we like. Because the whole point of this show is to try to get people into comics. And you don't do that by saying how much stuff sucks. Last week I did a comment. I was kind of shitting on Suicide Squad and how they won an Oscar. And I felt so bad about it after I did that. I was like, you know what? This so doesn't go with the theme of our show. Our show is about good stuff. Stuff that we like, not stuff that we don't like. So, as Kevin Smith says, don't bring somebody down to bring yourself up. That's good advice.
Aww, that is good.
And, like I said, the internet's full of fucking haters, and we're not going to be those haters. So, I agree with you, Pat. It's nice to bitch about things from time to time, believe me. But you're not going to see it on this show, not on Chuckload of Comics.
That's right.
So I think that's all for our mailbag, right? Thank you for the questions, guys. Keep the questions coming. Go to chuckloadofcomics@gmail.com.
Yep.
And this has been a fun show.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed this one.
Well, it helps that you have 2 of your favorite books of all time here.
So if you've never picked up a book that we've recommended, make that change, people. Like Michael Jackson said, read Lady Killer and I Hate Fairyland. And if you live in the Orlando or Florida area, go to Star Wars Celebration.
Jeez, if you live anywhere in
April 13th and 16th.
Southeast side of the United States, go.
So get excited, people. Lots of good Star Wars stuff coming up. And great movies in 2017. So tons of shit to get excited about. Enjoy your week. Come back here next weekend. We're going to have another amazing show for you.
Whoop, whoop.
Thanks for watching, and if I haven't said it enough, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube because we're almost at 50. We're at 49. We could really use that one more to give us the emotional boost that we need to keep this show going. So, anyway, my name's Chuck Lindsay.
Shauna Lindsay.
Thanks for watching Chuck Load of Comics. We'll see you here next week.